Aw, shit. Here we go again. Welcome to the Sloppy Book Club podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Celese.
And we are now on episode 6.
Yes. We both looked at each other how many episodes?
How many episodes have we done already? Yes, episode 6.
Yes, which is pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. We're actually going to dive right into things because we don't have like a game like we usually do. We just really wanted to highlight 2 wines like we always do. One alcoholic and one that has the alcohol removed from it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be doing that. And then for the month of March, we have been doing a bunch of different challenges, reading challenges, and we both wanted to highlight 2 books from the challenge that we've done. You know, we've done so many, I feel like, this month. So
we've been like power reading.
Yeah, and there's some that really, really spoke to us that we wanted to highlight. So we're definitely going to be doing that today. If you listen to, I just have to say this is off the script from our agenda, but I apologize for butchering names last week. I know Jenny loved every second of it, but I cringe.
It is hilarious how badly you butcher names.
I'm just not good at names. I don't know what it is. I don't know if my tongue can't make certain syllables or what it is. But yeah, so I apologize to our authors. I'm so sorry. You have amazing work. Please do not...
I hope they enjoy it and laugh about it.
I hope they can laugh about it.
I would.
Because it's honestly, it has nothing to do with you. It's me. It's all me. Yeah. So again, I apologize. I love your work. But yeah, just names are
she
just
does
not
it off script too. When we're not recording, she does the same exact thing.
And we practice sometimes. I'm like, Jenny, how did you pronounce this name? And she'll tell me, and I'm still getting it wrong. So it's me. Yep. It's not you. It's me. Okay. But yeah, I had to do that because I felt so bad when we were listening back and like we laughed, but at the same time I felt so bad because authors take their time in developing their characters, and here I am butchering it. Yes, so I had to apologize. But yeah, so getting back to things, Jenny's gonna review her wine first. And then I'll go right after. So what do you have, Jenny?
Okay, so I have a wine from, I'm going to try this out and try to get it right the first time. New Marlborough. Okay, I fucking tried, all right? New Marlborough. We're going to go with that.
Yeah.
Massachusetts. From LaTroy M. Vineyard. And I've already tried one from there, but it was a cranberry one.
Yeah, because I remember it was like a pink bottle.
Yeah, it was like 2 episodes ago or something like that. This one is orange, and it's called Jack's Pumpkin from the brand Stingy, I guess. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we're going with.
Yeah, Stingy.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's what we said last time.
So I'm going to attempt this. Nope.
No.
So
is it too pumpkin? Like
this one is really pumpkin.
Okay.
Oh. So it smells really bad. It doesn't it doesn't taste as bad as it smells.
Okay.
So I get that like good pumpkin pie kind of taste.
Okay.
Almost, but because it's a wine, it's really freaking weird.
Oh, okay. Cuz I feel like if you put it like as a maybe something for a mixed drink for a pumpkin.
Maybe like a sangria ball type of thing.
Maybe if you do a mix with it. Because you say it's a strong pumpkin flavor.
Very.
So maybe if it's alone it's too much, but maybe if you add something to it, it can help it.
Yeah, because it really does have that good pumpkin pie taste. It's just, it's freaking me out because it's a wine.
Oh, maybe that's what's throwing you off. Because we love pumpkin beers. So... maybe in wine form, it's not our favorite. It's looking like it's not your favorite. No. But the bottle's really cute.
It is.
It looks like a pumpkin. It's not, the shape of a pumpkin, but it has that orange and then green top.
Like it's not see-through. It's covered completely.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll try again next week.
Maybe.
Hopefully
We'll see.
something different. So, my go-to Frey, this is their red blend. This is their alcohol removed wine. I've tried their, was it the Merlot last time?
I believe so.
Yeah, because it was during
the Chardonnay? Merlot or Chardonnay?
No, it was the Merlot because remember it was red and went with our theme last week.
Right.
So this is their red blend. I wasn't really into the Merlot. The smell is really strong. Yeah, so we'll go.
Good luck.
We'll try it.
I'm here for you. What do you think?
It's not
wow, that's taking you a long time.
because I don't know if I like it or not.
Okay.
It is kind of tarty. It said it's a bold black cherry. But I'm not getting that. I don't know.
Is it bitter?
It's almost a little tarty and a little dry.
Oh, that's why. I'm not a fan of dry wine. I don't really like it. I want sweet wine.
Yeah, it's kind of, It's not my favorite.
Okay.
It's not my favorite. Yeah, it's not my favorite.
No.
No, I'm not into their red wines.
Okay. But I don't liked all their whites.
Yeah, they're white. They're I think I did a Moscato with them.
Okay.
And I really liked the Moscato one. I think it was. And the Chardonnay wasn't too bad. But yeah, the reds isn't my thing. But I've never really been a red wine kind of drinker anyway.
But I wanted to try it. I think you're running out of Frey wines. We're gonna have to start doing cocktails.
This is actually the last one from their line. The other one that they do have is almost like I think it's a champagne. It's not a wine. It's more a champagne. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing some mocktails or
at least
go online.
You're done being pregnant, and then you can start sharing all the real wines.
Yeah, but in like 2-3 more months, we'll see. It depends on if, breastfeeding goes well. But yeah. Yeah, that was it. Well, that was kind of a downer. But we'll pick it up with our book reviews.
All right.
Jenny, which book did you pick from?
So I picked a book from the March release challenge week. And it is called Isle of the Immortal, and that's by S.M. Estrada, so Stephanie Estrada. Mm-hmm. And it's an adult fantasy romance. Again, another vampire book. I don't know what it is. I think I'm just trying to find something to really grasp me. This book was good. Mm-hmm. So it's about this main character, Shay Lynn. They call her Shay throughout the book. She's really not given a choice. She's thrown into this immortal realm to save her brother. Because her brother's been sick and he's dying. And she's just like, I would do anything for you. And her mom's like, well, anything? Mm-hmm. Really sketchy, sort of, in the beginning. And she, with no information whatsoever, throws her into this realm. Okay. And she lives in the mortal realm. Mm-hmm. So she's now in this realm with, monsters and vampires and all that stuff, and she has no idea what to do, or she didn't even know that this place was real. Okay. It was just stories that she heard by the fire at night or whatever. So she throws her into this realm, and she is told to find the king. He's a vampire king, and everybody's scared of him from what she's heard because he owes the mom a debt. But the mom didn't tell her what this debt was. Of course she didn't. Nothing. This is the worst mom in the history
she just threw her mom to the wolves. Yeah, threw her daughter to the wolves.
She just throws her in there and is just go find this king and tell him he owes me a debt, so he has to help you save your brother. Okay. So she throws her into this realm, and she runs into this guy, Axton, who ends up being this guy who she follows around. So he knows the realm. She doesn't. So she's like, well, I'm just going to stick with you. I don't care. He's like, well, I don't want you to. They don't like each other. They fight. They bicker. Their banter is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love the banter. That's my favorite part of the book. Mm-hmm. And she follows him all the way to the king because he has business with the king. I don't want to spoil too much because it is a really new book. So I don't want to give away too much.
Yes. Okay.
So like I said, this realm is filled with darkness and monsters and all that stuff. And yes, it's a vampire book, but it doesn't overpower. Like, it's not, I'm a vampire, I'm going to suck your blood kind of thing. You just know that there's
just
vampires.
like a supernatural kind of
you just know they're there. That's it. So
now was it Axton? Is he a vampire or?
Yes, he is a vampire. Okay. Yep. So he's from this realm. She's not. So eventually they end up in the king's castle, King Ezream. I think that's how you say it, I hope.
Don't turn into me now.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's Ezream. So the realm is basically always in the dark. It's in darkness because the king, there's like this prophecy type of thing that the land runs off of what the king's power does. So the king powers the land pretty much. Okay. He'll bless people if there's like hybrid monster vampire things. He has to bless these babies in order for them to live or thrive or whatever. Oh, bless you.
I was trying to hold it in some.
I saw you trying really hard.
I'm so sorry. Excuse me. That kind of episode. I'm sorry. I was trying so hard.
I know. I noticed. So, anyways. So, yes, the king is basically all things because he blesses people. He blesses the realm, and he's the one that brings power to the realm. The king needs a fae queen in order to bring the light. So there needs to be like some kind of balance in the world. So we'll leave that part at that. So basically, Shay ends up at the king, and she's like, you owe my mother this debt. I really need you to help me. But he's like trying to find a queen as well. So he's like, well, if you help me, I'll help you kind of thing. And there's this whole other adventure that goes along with that. But I won't go too far into that. There's, like I said, there's really good banter in this book, which was my favorite part. There's a lot of adventure. There's twists and turns that you don't really expect.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And then there's obviously the enemies to lovers kind of thing.
Is it forced proximity?
I was just going to say that. There's forced proximity. There's a one-horse trope.
Okay.
You know.
That's new.
That is fun. They have to travel together on one horse. Yeah, that kind of thing. There's a found family trope.
Okay.
There's a strong female lead. Shaylin's like super strong female, and she's the one that I related to the most because she's super sarcastic and funny, and she doesn't really care what people think. So a lot of relatable characters, and that's
It sounds good. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
You should try it for sure. I did have a favorite quote from it. It's super short. But it's during a sex scene. Ooh. And it's really, really cute. All it is eyes on the stars. Oh. And I'll let you have it at that.
Eyes on the stars.
Eyes on the stars. And it is during a little hot scene.
Nice.
So I'll let your
I'm actually going to have to, just to get to that part, okay. I'm definitely going to have to read it.
It's cute. I really like it.
That's
like I said,
awesome.
It's an adult book. If a lot of the parts felt a little bit like YA almost.
Okay.
But because there's a lot of, not a lot, I guess there's some hot scenes. So
some
obviously
spice.
It's an adult book.
But because of the spice.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm going to have to, that quote got me. I'm going to have to. You know, you catch me with a good quote, I'm gonna,
I know.
especially for a little spicy book, I'm definitely gonna have to give that a go. I like that.
Good.
Okay, so my book that I chose from the challenge was the lead, like, female heroine challenge, and so this isn't like the usual, like, fantasy heroine. She's not slaying dragons or, you know, defeating witches or anything. It's kind of like it could be the girl next door kind of book. Okay. So the title is Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. I remember growing up reading her books and really loving them, and recently I found out that one of her books is being turned into like a movie on Netflix, and I was scrolling through my Kindle because, like I said, I've been like obsessed with her forever. And I noticed that this particular book I've never read of hers, which I feel like I've read all her books, so it threw me for a loop. So I gave it a go, and I loved it.
Good.
I really enjoyed it. So the main characters are Annabelle Green. She's this teenage model in her junior year of high school. And then Owen Armstrong. He's like that lone kind of wolf kind of like loner. He always has his headphones on, listening to music. And everyone kind of stares clear of him because they say like he's been to jail or something. So he doesn't have a lot of friends at the school. And up until recently, Annabelle was very popular. Like I said, she was a model. She had like a great group of friends. She almost like the perfect kind of life. And that kind of changed over the summer where she experienced something traumatic. We don't really know until later on in the story what it was. But because of this event, her and her best friend had a falling out. Her best friend, Sophie, had a falling out. And so she's arriving to that first day of junior high school, that first day of school. And she's hoping that, things have died down and that incident won't be brought up. And as soon as she gets into the parking lot, she finds out that's not going to happen.
Of course.
Sophie is, like, insulting her. I don't remember if it's, like, if she calls her a slut or something. But, like, right off the bat, like, she hasn't even, like, fully parked her car. And she's already getting, like, Sophie yelling at her while her windows are up kind of thing. So, obviously, she's kind of humiliated. Her friends that she thought were her friends are no longer her friends because they're following Sophie. So Sophie's like that mean girl, leader, popular girl. Almost like a Regina from Mean Girls.
I love that movie.
I love it too. So now she's in high school. It's her junior year. This event happened over the summer. She hasn't really expressed what it was. She's kind of been isolating herself and just doing modeling, even though she no longer wants to do it. But modeling has been in her family. Her older two sisters have been modeling since they were younger, and one of her older sisters, Whitney, was actually really great at it. Went to New York, was doing really great, catwalks, all of that. But we learned that she develops an eating disorder.
Okay.
So that family life now that perfect family life now is also chaotic. So now she's dealing with her own traumas, and then at home there's like that rift within the family. So she has two sisters, is Whitney and Kristen, and Whitney and Kristen, they have moved to New York together to pursue modeling. Kristen didn't want to do it anymore. She wasn't fitting the stereotype of, those supermodels.
Yeah.
Whereas Whitney was, because, she was really into not eating, I guess, to stay within it and just like falling into the wrong crowd. And then that becomes a rift between Whitney and Kristen. So Kristen reaches out to the family like, there is something going on with Whitney. I don't know what to do. And Whitney ends up in the hospital because she hasn't been eating. And that's where they find out about her eating disorder. So they send her to treatment, and now she's getting treated, and she's back from treatment, and she's seeing a therapist and all these things. So there's a lot going on in Annabelle's world, and she doesn't really have anyone to go to.
Okay.
Cue Owen the loner. So they've been sitting next to each other on this wall outside during lunchtime, and finally they kind of develop a friendship, and it's through music. So she's like, you're always listening to, things on your headphones. They, start developing this friendship, and he kind of encourages her to tell the truth and tell what's on her mind through music, because he doesn't listen to like hip hop or R&B, like the standard music. He's doing like these crazy techno, like water dripping sounds, and he has his own radio. Yeah. So like his music isn't like, you know, the go-to cool music. Yeah. This is music that you're either gonna love it or hate it. Mm-hmm. And Owen has this thing where he's always honest. So he's expecting whoever's talking to him to always be honest. So he's not just going to be like, oh, yeah, you know, he's not going to be okay with you saying, yeah, it was okay. Or, you know, it wasn't my thing. He wants you to explain it. So with him, you know, he's encouraging her to come out of her shell where she's been kind of hiding her feelings because she's been terrified of how people will take it, you know, with her being honest.
So he wants her to open up and be her true self.
And he's this way because he actually wasn't in jail. He actually had to go to anger management. So through anger management, you know, to be honest with himself and to clear, you know, those rifts or that anger, he's just honest. Mm-hmm. And that's how he's, you know, expecting her to be. And they develop a really good friendship, like I said, through his music picks and, you know, his radio station. She'll come down and listen to, you know, his radio station, or she'll listen to it. Because I think his how do you say it? His station was like really early in the morning. Okay. So she would wake up early just to listen to it. So yeah, it was really, really cute. So she's feeling like on the up and up. She has a friend. They're kind of getting closer. And then her sister, Whitney, has a new therapist who's really been helping her too. So like, you know, home life is a little bit better. She's feeling a little bit better. But of course, something has to happen in a great story.
Obviously.
So what happens is we find out that Sophie, her best friend, her boyfriend, Will, was accused of raping one of Annabelle's former friends who models. And her name is Emily. And she goes to Annabelle and she's like, I know what happened to you last summer. So this is where we're finding out that situation is Will took advantage of her at a party. And instead of Sophie taking her side, she kind of took Will's side and has just been like slut-shaming her and just making her feel like crap. But really, Will is like basically like a serial raper for, you know, parties and stuff. So Emily goes to her and she was like, you know, I know this is probably what you went through. I really think you should go to the police and let them know because I am. So she went to the police. She's, you know, pursuing legal action. And this throws Annabelle off because, you know, she's kind of put that to the back burner. She hasn't really been thinking about it. And now it's like triggering that night, those memories, those feelings. And that particular day that she finds out about Emily, she promised Owen to go into a show of a band that he really liked. Mm-hmm. And she goes, but really she shouldn't have because she's feeling all these emotions. And he knows something's off. She's not telling him what's going on. Owen's friend, Raleigh, is there, or Rolly. And
is it Rolly or is it Raleigh?
Raleigh or Rolly?
I'm sorry.
It's one.
I had to throw that in there.
It's one of them. And he's there, and he's like, oh, there's a girl at the bar that I really, really, you know, want to talk to or whatever. And it happens to be a very old friend of Annabelle's named Clark. But they were friends when they were younger. And Annabelle had actually ditched Clark when Sophie came into town. So they haven't spoken in years. So he's like, oh, you know her? Because he was like, oh, the girl over there. And she was like, Clark? He was like, you know her? You have to introduce me. But she's like, she's not being truthful. She's like, okay. So she introduces them. And Clark is looking at her like, bitch, you haven't spoken to me in years. Like, why are you talking to me kind of thing? Is this a joke?
Right.
And then here comes, you know, now you have me second guessing if it's Rolly or Raleigh. I think it's Raleigh. Okay. He comes over and he's like, hey, friend. And so she introduces them and then she just leaves. Like, she doesn't tell Owen anything. She just ditches them. And so they stop talking because Owen is like, yo, she just ditched me. So months go by and she's isolating herself again. And it ends with Emily telling her there's a court date. You should testify against Will. And so she does this in the library and Annabelle just has a meltdown. And Clark happens to be in the library too and goes to her and she's like, hey, is everything okay? Because Owen's really worried about you. You're crying here in the library. What's going on? And that's when she shares what happened to Clark. And then she shares it with her family later on. And then she goes to Owen's radio station and she's trying to explain like what's going on. Mm-hmm. But he's so mad at her. And then finally she gets it out, like, this is what happened, and, you know, this is why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And, of course, he's, like, super supportive, and he's like, you know, I'm here for you. You know, I'll go with you to court, you know, when you go to testify if you need me to, and, you know, he promised her that. And so they finally do go to court. She notices that Owen never shows up, and in the courtroom, Will has a black eye and she knows like Owen has something to do with it. Okay. So finally it ends with her coming out of the courtroom. Owen's pacing back and forth out of the courthouse. She goes to him and he's like fighting, telling her what to do. Like he's going around the bush, you know, because he never lies. So he's like, I'm not going to lie to her, but I also don't want to, you know, tell her, you know, what happened. And he's like, you know, my mom is mad at me. And she was like, okay, but what happened, Owen? What's going on? And he's like, just like trying to go around
beating around the bush.
Yeah. And then he's finally like, I punched him. So he tells her and, you know, they have their kiss and like they come together. And it's just like a great coming of age story about friendship, about, you know, coming to terms with some of your trauma a little bit, having someone to lean on. But I also want to go back to the dynamics of her sisters because I feel like this was a good sister story too. Mm-hmm. Because like I said earlier, Kristen and Whitney had that falling out, and through therapy, Whitney was able to come, you know, overcome her eating disorder. Yeah. She's not cleared of it. Obviously, that's something she's always going to have to fight for. But she turned to poetry. So she invited her sisters out to listen to one of her poetry readings. And it's when, it's a story about when she broke her arm and how Kristen rode her on her bike. Because she fell off her bike. Okay. So, and she had broken her arm. So Kristen like picked up her sister, put her on the handlebars, and then rode her back home kind of thing. And Kristen is like, oh my God, I shared the same story for a college project because Kristen went back to college and she was taking up film and she recorded the same story, but in her perspective.
So it touched them in like two different ways.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really cute.
So it was, I love that it was not only, you know, Annabelle's story, but it also had like this other story within her sisters. Yeah. So I really enjoyed this story. And I'm like, oh my God. You know, with her getting movies to film, I'm like, I would love to see this as a film.
If you wouldn't have told me that he was going to film, I would have been like, this sounds like a good Netflix movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that Netflix is doing it, but...
Right. No, this particular one isn't the one that's coming to Netflix. It's Along for the Ride. Mm-hmm. And I read that one and it was a good one. Okay. But I feel like this one will like, I don't know. I feel like this one, it's really good. Yeah. I feel like it would make a great film.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, it was so good. Like I said, the banter between Owen and Annabelle was good, especially when they're discussing music and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's actually a quote that I wanted to share from Owen. Yes. So, Owen is just telling her how music is the great uniter. Mm-hmm. And it's an incredible force, something that people who differ on everything and anything else can have in common is music. So he says, because a song can take you back instantly to a moment or a place or even a person, no matter what else has changed in you or the world, that one song stays the same, just like that moment, which is pretty amazing when you actually think about it. And it is amazing when you think about it, about how like a song can take you back to a moment. Yeah. And I feel like that's something with books too. Sometimes there's a particular part of a book that can take you back to a particular moment, and I'm just like, oh my God, that was great. I have to put that out there into the world on our podcast. So
I really like that. Mm-hmm. And it, like, that reminds me of like when we first started this whole book club thing. It was a group, there's four of us, four friends, and we started reading Shadow and Bone together. Yes. And I thought that was so much fun, and I really missed that, and it was really cute.
Yeah, that was
so. Shadow and Bone holds like this little special place in my heart because of that, because we all read it, the whole entire series together.
Yeah, we read the whole series right before the show started, and we like talked. We would come together and talk about it, and like, oh my God, this character. We FaceTime. So yeah. So I feel like not only is music the great uniter, but a good book too. It is. Or it could just bring up a happy moment, or whatever. And I don't know. I thought that was like a great quote by Owen, and I was just like, oh my God, really I loved it. But yeah, I loved the story. It was really good. Yay. Sarah Dessen has always been a great YA, author. And like I said, I finally read all her stuff.
Wow. I've never read anything from her. Sorry.
No, I enjoyed reading her growing up. I'm going to have to reread Along for the Ride. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not even going to go there because maybe I'm wrong, because I've read so many of her books. I might be tangling some of them together, but it's something I'm definitely going to try and reread before it airs.
All right.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Cool. So that kind of wraps up the two that kind of stuck out to us for our
March challenges.
Yes. Yeah. We did quite a few of them. We're not done yet. March isn't over. But yeah, that wraps it up for this one.
Yes, it does. And if there were any stories that you enjoyed during the challenges, please comment. We want, you guys to tell us what you're reading. Which challenge was your favorite out of all the ones that we've done so far? Yes. And tell us the books. Like, I love knowing what books are out there. So if it's something we haven't read, please let us know.
I know. I'm constantly putting stuff on my list to read because people are constantly posting it or recommending it. And there's just so many out there. But we would really love to dive into books together with some of our listeners.
Especially with our listeners, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for listening for another episode.
Bye.
Bye.